So it's 2018, and another year. One of the things I wanted to really get across to people, many people don't understand why white nationalism failed and why the alt-right will fail. And the reason why is a lack of rebuilding a cultural infrastructure for whites. And I've talked about this with the importance of building a Pan-American culture and a Pan-American race, a biological race and a cultural ideal, even through sharing of food culture, things of that nature. Now, the reason that the white nationalist movement failed and the alt-right failed is because it's reactionary, it's aggressive, and it's a negative. It's not a positive. There's no desire to rebuild the cultural infrastructure that we lost. And what do I mean by cultural infrastructure? Many years ago, in my grandfather's generation and my grandmother's generation, white Americans had a shared culture. Wherever you lived in the United States, there was a shared culture. It was a little bit different. My grandfather was from the Midwest, which the Midwest is the ultimate in Americana. He was a descendant of Mormon pioneers, Hiram Page and Catherine Whitmer, to be exact. And we've seen a falling apart of the cultural infrastructure, the cultural backbone of white Anglo-Saxon America. And this has been not primarily due to anything besides white Anglo-Saxon America. My grandfather served in World War II, Korea, and was an advisor in Vietnam. This perpetuated him into a capitalistic mindset of always succeeding and reaching a higher socioeconomic stage in life. And this is where the white person has been put in the modern era. It's all about money. And now my grandparents weren't like that. They still retained a lot of the Christian cultural values. Both my grandmother and my grandfather abstained from alcohol their entire lives and abstained from nicotine their entire lives, which was a carryover, of course, from Mormonism. And another good thing was my grandfather was a reverend in the Episcopalian Church, or Anglican Church. The Episcopalian Church is the U.S. version of the Anglican Church, because the United States banned the Anglican Church due to its loyalty to the King of England. Now, why is it important to have a cultural backbone? Well, as you notice with the white nationalists and the alt-right, they lack a cultural backbone. And it's just aggression, both verbally and behaviorally. This is not building anything of any value. It's not building anything that will last. It does, however, bring out the negative in other people, and it shows the negative. And the reason I'm doing this is because a lot of people misunderstand the importance of why it's so very important that we look toward. See, in Latin America, they still have the family values, generally speaking, that we lost in the United States. And you can tell this by looking at Latin American families that have immigrated to the U.S. And another thing that's very interesting is the amount of ignorance and arrogance in the average white in the USA is what has perpetuated this idea that we don't really need a culture. If you ask the average white person what is white culture in the United States, they don't know. And this is because of the fact that they're not taught about white culture in the school systems, and this is also the doing of white liberals. There is no idea. We don't learn about the pioneers anymore. My family The Mormon pioneers that went west to Missouri and then later to Utah and Mexico and these areas, you don't learn about the Mormon pioneers. In fact, you never really did, because the United States has always had a vendetta against the Mormons, because for whatever reason, some blamed it on polygamy. I think it was just because it's a matter of, if you don't, we have freedom of religion in the United States unless you're the wrong religion, is how it boils down. But New Year, lack of culture, watching my country decline. Whatever.